Today, I want to share on this idea of setting intentions, very specifically on how important words are in crafting this intention. Do I have to be super particular with my word choices? Do I have to be very specific in the framework of creating a powerful intention? So I got super excited because I want to provide a multi-layered response depending on the level of consciousness that you are coming to this ceremony, this ritual. And I kind of hate to say the level of consciousness because I don't want to create this comparison or this judgment, right? But based on my own journey and how my practice changed over the years, there just simply is a level of embodied consciousness. And I'm just wanting to portray that there are tools that are best matching the level of consciousness that one is. And that's all, right? And as that level of consciousness changes, this practice, this ceremony also changes. And that's all I'm saying. Okay, so why I got so excited about, or maybe before I go there, let me explain what do I mean by level of consciousness. I mean embodied self-worth, embodied I am presence. Because if we are at the beginning of our self-worth embodiment, of our healing, we rely on the outside environment, on our relationships to constantly tell us, to inform us of our self-worth. They are basically informing us of the state of our existence. And the more we heal and the more we integrate, we are switching that practice to an inner practice. Oh, let me go inside and let me inform myself of my own self-worth, right? And that knowing of the I am inside will also change how you're approaching this intention setting. And that's really, really important. So if you are at the beginning, approaching this from procedure, I'm going to call it like a process, better yet, a process that is proven, that is stable, that is grounded in love, creates a safe framework for you to be able to grow into your own stability, into your own confidence, into your own self-worth. And so this process might include cleansing the space, practicing psychic hygiene, calling in protection, grounding, centering, making sure that you're coming to your intention setting from love for the highest good, things like that, right? Whatever the process, the procedure is, I think having my recommendation, having this process and creating stability within that as an approach to your intention setting, creating this context first is pretty important. And then let's say you're there and now we're stepping into this, how important are words? So to me, it's because you are communicating with the divine, with spirit, with God, whatever you want to call it, right? You're communicating with a pretty high intelligence. So you have the luxury to set your own definition of how important your words are. For me personally, I like my words to be a translation. I create my intention through my frequency. I'm finding that frequency, I'm setting that frequency with my emotions, with my feelings, with my perception, and my words are just a representation in the 3D, in the thing, in my articulation. And they don't have that much power, right? But you can create power. You can create tools. You can set up words to be your tools. And then that tool, it kind of serves like a symbol within this 3D level to resonate. It's a frequency. Now it becomes an archetype. What's the other? A talisman, right? It's just a reverberance within manifestation. So you have a lot of freedom, but you are the creator within this intention setting. Unlike entering a conversation with other people, that is completely different, because words, right, according to some psychologists, they're only 7% of communication. Can you imagine that our words are only 7%? Body language, intonation, make up the other power of the communication, right? And then you have connotation. And even though you might use the dictionary defined meaning of certain words, some people they only hold a connotation or a colloquial version of that word. So you're intending something, you're communicating something, but is being many times taken in as something completely different, right? And you're sitting there saying, but that's not what I meant. That's not what I said. We use the same words, yes, but they were understood in different senses. So with the universe, you can establish your own definition, and you can define that my meaning, right, independent on society, independent on the dictionary, however it is that I'm perceiving the meaning of this word, this is what I'm also intending with this meaning, with my connotation, my personal connotation of this word, right? So you have a lot of freedom when you're entering communication, and knowing that you have your own power to define that opens up a very clear channel, right, of that communication. So that's why approaching the ceremony is creating that openness and that channel for the words to then be the tools. Okay. So how specific now do you have to go in your word choice and in the specifics of the intention? So here also, I want to create a framework of choice, because if you're using words as simply a method of articulation, then I also want to invite you to use the practice of being specific in your intention to be just that, a tool, a practice. You creating a specific intention only serves the purpose of you defining within yourself, you discovering what it is in detail that you want to experience. But you're not necessarily putting the power into crafting an intention, right? This is not like, unless you define it like that, but this is what I recommend, to retain the power more within you and to create the specifics within you, and the practice of you creating an articulation of specific description to be merely articulation, an after effect of what it is that you're intending. And so when you're starting to set up your approach and how you're moving within this approach, within the ceremony of setting intentions, it provides a growth opportunity from the beginning, right? Because it's a constant self-exploration. You are using the procedure as a framework, but you're setting it up that you're constantly exploring yourself, and the framework can flourish with you. So this is the ladder of consciousness that I'm talking about. As you're integrating self-worth, you no longer have to be so specific in your intention, right? Because you are already knowing, you are who you desire to be. Does that make sense? And so in the beginning, yes, spend time articulating, creating specifics to the width and depth that you can possibly go to. But once that integration is done, you will see how that practice diminishes naturally. Because why do you have to keep exploring yourself that which you are? And you're finding yourself that it's like, well, yeah, of course it's like that. So sure, there's other aspects of intention settings now, like, right, like you're going left to yourself, you're going right, and you keep integrating. But as you're moving through this healing journey, you might find yourself surprised one day when you're in this setting and somebody says, okay, now let's write down your intentions. And you go, write down my intentions? Why? Why would I take potential and limit it to the material and limit it to the known? All of a sudden, you realize you have integrated so much that you're more excited being into the unknown, being into the unrealized potential, being curious about self-discovery, and no longer interested in creating predictability through intentions. Does that make sense? So now the process of setting intentions is simply enjoying the space of this self-worth and being in this channel of communication without having to craft in words anything, because I don't care. I don't care to speak them from the known, right? Because when I speak them, I can only speak something from memory or from something that has already realized. So it's sort of the same process. I'm still sitting here downloading, sort of. So I'm still setting intentions, but from a totally different perspective. Do I still like the ceremony? Yes. I still love getting a candle going or burning incense. So I'm still creating that art, that space of beauty, of expansion. And I'm still doing the same thing, but from a totally different perspective. And so this is my sharing. I hope you found something useful. If you liked my approach, I offer one-on-one sessions. It is all pay what it's worth to you. I offer meditations and discussion circles. Everything is on my website. Read my blogs if you're interested in spirituality, self-exploration, things like that. I love to write. I'm not a great writer, but I still love to write. And thank you for watching. I will see you around.